I'm gonna use a cup that I keep my water in.
Now that, since you're waiting, make sure to so now that you're waiting and we're waiting for everybody, make sure to grab some water and a towel or paper towels. And we'll wait a little bit longer. Just make sure everybody's logged on. So we give everybody a few more minutes and see, and I'm gonna log on the computer onto YouTube and see if it's connected. Yay, we are on.
Huh?
I'm Ryan, filmmaker, creator, film music video,
Yay, okay, I got it. Awesome. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited. This is a cute one. So I hope you guys are doing good. And we'll get started in just a few minutes and let everybody trickle in. So if you just got in, make sure that you grab a cup of water to clean your brushes with and a towel or some paper towels to dry them off on. So just make sure you got those things. And we'll get started in just a bit. Hi, Charlotte.
That one's very delayed.
Hi, guys. Hi, Magdalene. Doing good. Everybody's trickling in. Yeah. Margarita, Denise, hey, Kate. Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like lost.
Okay. What are you trying to figure out?
Well, I think I got it now, but I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do with video or not video because I'm eating and I didn't know if I wanted everybody to see me eat. And then my phone's about to die, so I'm trying to download it onto my iPad. So I'm trying to figure it out on my iPad.
Oh. Well,
I forgot to charge the phone.
Yeah,
Huh?
mine's actually plugged in right now. I'm plugged in as we're talking. But if anything, we're streaming on YouTube right now.
Oh,
So if you don't get downloaded before you die, before your phone dies, you can definitely hop on to YouTube, and we're there right now. So.
well, I'm downloading it on my iPad, so I think it's working. Let me try. You might see two Denises though.
Oh, that's fine. I do that too. It's easiest.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yay. Okay.
Oh, I got it on my iPad.
Perfect.
Yay!
All righty. Okay. So, welcome back, everybody. Yay! We're finally doing another one.
I can't hear you with these headphones, Mom. So if you talk to me and I ignore you, it's because these ones are okay.
It's been such a crazy fall, and we were hoping to keep these up as soon as the semester started, but of course, things just got really out of hand. So from now on, we'll have one at least once a month. Things are rolling a little smoother now, so yay. Welcome back for everybody who's been here before. My name is Dana. I'm the coordinator for the Performing Arts Series at Tech. And we have a lot of fun things that we do, and the Dana's Delights is one of them. Formerly called Dana's Delicacies. So if you go online and you're looking for some of our past projects, you'll find them under Dana's Delicacies on PAS website. But these are really fun, easy projects that we like to do for tech students. Just know art supplies are completely free. Packets for general public, they're just $10, and it's a great packet, worth the $10. And of course, Performing Arts Series, nonprofit. We have a lot of fun doing what we do, and we're so glad that you can join us. I'm just like so happy that everybody's here. So let's make sure everybody has what you need. So you're going to need brushes. If you bought our packet, you got 3 different brushes. So whatever you have available, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Make sure you have some water. So we'll be cleaning out our brushes. I have a plate. If you have, some cardstock or cardboard, whatever you have at home that you can mix colors in, you can do it on a dish. We're using acrylics today. Oh yeah, good deal, Kate. We're using acrylics today, so acrylics are very forgiving when it comes to putting it on, getting it on your table or on your clothes or on your dishes. So don't worry about that too much. You need your colors, and if you went on on our website, you'll see we pretty much put all the colors on the spectrum. We can mix colors too. It's fine. But right now, what I've got, let me see if I can move this down. Yeah. So I've got my yellow, my white, my orange, my red, and my black. Those are the colors that I want to be using today. Whatever colors you feel like using, use them. If you want a neon pink kitty and you've got pink, or magenta, use it. It doesn't matter. It's your painting. Make it whatever you want. That's the best part about this, is that we get, everybody's doing the same painting, but we get so many different variations and they all look so awesome that it's just like the best thing in the world. I love to see everybody's personal touches and creativity. Yeah, so you got your paints, got your brushes, you got your water, you got your tray. Don't forget some paper towels or an old rag or t-shirt, whatever you have, to wipe off your brush, because we're going to be changing colors a lot on this one. All right, so let me pop this up. And as you can see, usually we do landscape style. This time we're going to do portrait. So you want to make sure it's nice and long. Let's get started. Okay. All right. So first thing we're going to do on this painting is get our background ready. And with that, we're going to grab we're going to get our biggest brush. That's the easiest thing to do. Your background with is your biggest brush. So whether it's rounded, they got a rounded one. You can see the bristles are like a round one. And flat brush does not matter. You can do it with the smaller brushes. It just takes a little bit longer. So I am going to take my flat brush, and in your packet, if you got a packet, you probably got a popsicle stick to mix with. You can mix with the end of your brush. That's fine too. Just wipe it off before you do anything. Or if you have a paint palette knife, you can use those too. So I've got my knife here, and I'm going to start by taking a little bit of black. So I'm going to hold my tray up here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to take my tray, and with black, you don't need much. So I'll put some black right there. And then I'm going to grab some orange. So you can see I've got a small bit of black and some orange. I'm just going to mix those two. So I get this kind of dark, muddy, almost brown color going on. I want the background to be dark, but I don't want it to be black. And that's just for me. If you decide you want a black sky, make it a pitch black sky. That works. That's awesome. So I don't know if you can see that too good, but it's like a brown. And if you have any questions in between, just unmute and holler. So I am put my knives to the side and kind of wipe them off. So that way I can just dip and dip. So that little bit of brown, and it doesn't look like it's much right now, but I'm just going to kind of do a vignette around the whole thing. So I'm going to put this down first, because then I'm going to blend some more colors into it. So I'm going to wet my brush a little bit. Like just the tip of my brush. And I'm just going to snag some of this brown paint on the tip of my brush. And Okay, let me move this up a little bit so you can see. Woo. Okay, so on the corners, I'm just going to kind of paint like this little curve. I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna leave it kind of wet. I'm not gonna really paint and keep brushing until all the paint is dry. I'm just gonna just brush because we're gonna blend all of these colors together. Our background's gonna be nice and blended. So right now, this just looks really solid. And my easel has a lip, so I'm picking my picture up and I'm just going to come down here and do these corners. So I'm just laying that color down right now. So it's just like the vignette filter on your Snapchat or Instagram, whichever one you use. We're just putting those corner touches on. So that's nice and easy, real simple. I'm going to pull it in a little bit more on the top because I want it to kind of surround and do this little frame out. Like that. And I think I'm happy right there. So I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to start on the center of my canvas. So I'm going to use the same brush. And I'm just going to get that brown off. Just dip it in the water. And because all these colors are really blended, I'm not going to get too crazy about cleaning my brush. So for me, that's good enough. Now, you can, so the center, you can make it a moon if you want, or for this one, I'm going to kind of do an orange circle that kind of gradiates out. So I'm going to take my brush, just get a little bit of water on it. I'm going to get some orange. And I'm just going to pick the center of my painting and just start making a nice round orange circle. Let me know if I'm going too fast. So just a nice round orange circle right there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Come over here for a
What's
second.
that? Come sit.
We're
is
here
that?
in Socorro and it sloped down just a little bit, okay?
Hi. How
Sorry.
you doing?
I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing. I have all different kinds of corners going, okay? That's where I'm barely at.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
We
We're
wanted
gonna-
to say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having us. My corners are all crooked.
He does.
So now we need another plate.
They're really small. I know. That's what we had left. So from here, from the orange, I'm not going to even clean my brush. My brush still has orange on it. I'm going to dip it into my yellow. So I'm just going to dip it straight into my yellow. And it's still got that orange on it. And on the outside of my orange circle, I'm just going to go around and do the yellow. So you can see, because I have that color on my brush, they're blending already. You get this really pretty color, this gradient that's just amazing. And so I'm just going to keep going in a circle, pulling it in. And that's it. I'm just gonna keep going out, out, out. And I'll grab some more yellow.
Are you pulling the yellow into the orange circle?
You can, if you want to, you can pull the orange in, pull the yellow into the orange,
Okay, see if you can-
do that, or you can keep it like a solid orange. It just depends on how, what feels right. So you can see with mine, I've got more yellow up here. This is a little more orange. There's definitely some serious orange going on here. And I mean, you could even put a little bit of red right in the middle if you wanted to really, really make that bright, and very contrast. So and then I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep adding the yellow, and my brush still has the orange in it. So I'm still getting that color throughout the whole thing. And I think it just looks so cool. And this still, I'm not brushing these paints on till they're like set completely absorbed and dry. So I still got some wet right here. So there's still a little bit of paint that I can pull if I need to. And now using the same brush, I have orange on there, yellow on there. I'm going to dip it into the white. So I've got white on there, and I'm going to go on the outside of the yellow. And you see how cool that looks. And he's going to go all the way around. So it just mixes it for you. It's just so awesome. And I keep adding the white. And I'm going to go all the way to my gradient. So you can see there, I got some of the paint that was still on the gradient. I got some really cool brown streaks going on right here and right here. So I keep pulling that in. You can add some more yellow if you want. So, and I've got to pick my canvas up because my easel has a pretty pronounced lip here. So I'm going over my vignette here. And now I'm just going to start adding some white here and there. Get this really cool streaky look. Yeah, my husband cut this lip off actually. He's like, get the power tools. Get this lip out of here. All right. So on your corners, if you want, you can add a little bit of water and blend those together because that is going to soften that brown. So a little bit of water in there will break up that brown and let you mix it a little bit. And pull it down. You don't have to do this. But if you, and you can even add some more brown to that if you wanted to break it up. and do a little more shading and make that vignette a little more pronounced and blended. You can just add a little bit more brown. And the great thing about the acrylics is that even if they sit there for a little bit, you just add a little bit of water to them and they come back to life. So just keep playing with it until you get it how you want it. We're going to put a lot of stuff on top of this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just once you feel like, oh, I like the way that looks, then you can stop. If you, want to add more white, you can add more white. If you want a little more orange, or if you're doing different colors, if you decided to go with blue and purple, or black and red, whatever colors you want, just keep going until you say, okay, I'm good. I think I'll put a little bit of white right here and kind of make a nice little ring. Now, since I have brown on my brush, I am going to take it off because brown is really dark compared to the other colors we're using. And I'm just going to go over one more time with my orange, add a little bit darker right here in the middle, and then grab my yellow. And I'm just going to go over this one more time just to make sure my color is a little vibrant. Make sure I have a little bit of yellow peeking out. I got some white streaks going on in there. So this can be nice and streaky. Or you can do it completely smooth. That's up to you. A little bit more white, and I'm happy with this right here. I think this looks good. So it almost looks like a sunset or a like red moon, something cool like that. I'm going to stop because if I don't, it's going to get really saturated. The great thing about acrylics is they do dry fast, but if you keep lathering them on, you'll be sitting here for an hour. So I'm going to let that dry for just a minute and see how everybody's doing. Let us know if you need any extra time. And I'm going to check and make sure that we don't have any chats on YouTube. Okay, I think we're all right. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I have the live chat up just in case. So if you need any direction or have a question, we've got you. All right. So we're going to move on to our pumpkin. So if you are ready, follow along. If not, let us know if you need more time. Okay, moving on. So first things first, I'm going to get a smaller brush. If you have a tiny brush, you can use the tiny one. This one's this is kind of medium. I think this is a number 4. for those of you who know brushes. This is number 4. And so the first thing I'm going to do for the pumpkin is make the face. So for my jack-o'-lantern is going to have the face first. It's going to look a little weird. So watch me before you start, because the background's so great. I don't want to lose the background. I want to keep the background as part of my pumpkin. So I'm going to outline and these don't have to be perfect. I'm just deciding where I want to put my pumpkin, my jack-o'-lantern face. And I'm outlining it. So that way my background comes through. I do the same thing for the nose. And we've all, at one point, probably have done a jack-o'-lantern face. So, figure everybody should be okay. And then for the teeth, I'm just going to space them out however you want. I'm just putting 2. So they're just 2 little U blocks. You zoom in here. So we just got 2 little U blocks. And I'm just going to connect those at the top. Then I want my smile to be nice and big. So I'm coming on the outside corner of the eye, like right where the nose is. So I'm like parallel to the nose and right under that outside corner of the eye. So just basically like this. And I'm just pulling this down. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You pull that down like that. And then I'm going to connect these 2. Okay. So pretty simple. So we've got the outline. Right there, we're good. You can, give it some smiley eyes. So I did mine in these little like Starfleet kind of looking arrowheads. You can do crescent moon smiley, or you could do it angry, jack-o'-lantern, whatever you want. But get this down first. You want to make sure that you get this down first, so that way you're not putting black on everything. Because black is just so, you got to commit to black. It's not very forgiving. Okay, so once you got this, once you got your pumpkin head, we're going to actually make our pumpkin. And so I'm just going to kind of go around and go over everything. I'm going to start right here. I want to make the top of my pumpkin just a little bit flat. You know how pumpkins kind of come out from the stem, and they're a little flatter on the top. That's what I'm going to do right here. So right above the nose, I'm going to pick my spot. So your pumpkin can be really big and take up most of the space, or it can be a small pumpkin. Or you can do your own thing and like do multiple pumpkins, what you want to do. But for this one, I'm just going to basically draw my pumpkin out. I think I want him to be a little bit bigger on the base. So you see, I've got a little bit of flatness. And I'm doing this with my little one just to kind of just to scope out where I want to go. Because with the big one, we can always build it up if we're not happy with the shape of our pumpkin. Let's do this. There's my pumpkin. And I think I'm pretty happy with the size. So once you're happy with kind of how it looks, then we're going to move on to filling it. So I'll give you guys just a minute. If you're done, make sure to wipe that brush off. Wet it a little bit, wipe it off. Like I said, black is not very forgiving a color. Well, shade. All right. So once you've got the shape down, you can grab another brush. I'm going to use a medium angle brush. So this is a flat angle brush. If you don't have one of these and you have a medium brush, or if you have a smaller large brush, so some of you that bought the packets probably got something like this. That works too. So I prefer angles, and I don't know what that is. So I'm going to use this angled brush, and I'm just going to fill in. I'm going to make sure I do not fill in the eyes, the nose, or the mouth. I'm just going to fill everything else in with black. So I'm not wetting my brush. I'm just dipping it straight in dry. And I'm just going to fill this black in. And I want it to be very opaque, nice and solid. So you see how when I run out of paint, I've got some of the background showing. I'm covering all that up. I want it to be pitch black. I'm going right to the edge of the outline that I made. And take your time with it. Like I said, black is one of those paints that you really need to concentrate with, because once you put black down, you cannot mix, you can't take it back. So just go ahead and brush all the way around. When you get too near your eyes, you just want to make sure that you're very careful and that you don't get any black on them on the inside, because there will go your background. So try to outline them even thicker before you just start filling in the center of your pumpkin. That'll stop any mistakes before they start. Did I do there? Awesome. So also be aware that you're touching your canvas. If you lean your hand on it, like I just did, I still got some white around here that hasn't dried yet. So you'll end up getting some paint on you. So be very aware. If you feel like you got some paint on, wipe it off before you continue, so that way you don't get it on your black. Okay. So keep going. Let me know if you have any questions. And, you know, as we're doing this, and we're kind of just here filling this in. If you guys want to turn your mics on and say hi to your neighbors, that's awesome too. We love that. This is funny for me. I feel like I have to fill in the quiet. I know. We can. It's creepy Halloween music. So we're filling. What is everybody planning to be for Halloween? I don't know about you guys, but I still dress up. That's like my favorite season. Halloween is my Christmas.
What are you gonna dress up as, Dana?
I'm still on the fence. We're gonna do the whole 20s 49ers thing. So I'm gonna have a costume from that already. So I was thinking of doing something like that, but I don't know. I have so much stuff. And I heard today that the Socorro Community Theater is going to have a sale, a costume sale. They're getting rid of a lot of stuff that they've had in storage. So I don't know if anybody else has costume closet, but I do. I have a lot of costumes, and I don't know if it's, you know, working at the theater or what, but I have tons of costumes. And costumes, cosplay.
I never dress up.
No,
No. I like the holiday and stuff, but I just never. I like to stay home and watch movies. I love to watch the Halloween movies on Halloween.
yeah, every holiday I have like certain classics that I have to watch, like have to. And Halloween, for Halloween, see, I'm not a big Halloween like creepy, scary movie person, but I love the comedies. So of course the original Ghostbusters is a must.
Oh, that's a great one.
You can't have Halloween without Ghostbusters.
And that's how I am, like Halloween, Michael Myers. I always have to watch him, like every year.
We used to play Dead by Daylight. It was so much fun because they have the Michael Myers and he's around. Oh, it's such a cool game. But yeah, that one. And do you remember Frighteners from the 90s?
I love that with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
That is a good one. I always laugh at that one. I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, that's a tradition. I have to watch that every year. That's like that's one of my holiday traditions. Is to watch that one for Halloween at some point. And
That's
of course,
a good one.
Scream. You have to do at least one scream. There's a lot of screams, but at least one.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm finished filling this in. How are you guys doing? It takes a while. Let's see if anybody has their cameras on. No, everybody's got their cameras off.
How do you put your camera back on?
So when you tap on your screen on Zoom, you just there's a little video camera on the bottom. There's a mic and a video camera, and you just tap on that, and it turns your screen back on.
Oh, I don't even know if it said unable to, because oh no, start video. That's not what I wanted to do, right?
I think, let's see, yeah, start video. Stop it. Like,
Okay, then,
the video camera has a little red X, a little red line through it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, when you,
Well, my
you'll get
iPad's not letting me.
oh.
I don't know why.
Do you have a camera on your iPad?
No, I saw my iPad and I thought I did. I think I do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I had turned it off a while ago because I was like, I don't want people to see me eat. I was eating dinner.
Oh yeah, no, and when we started these and we started Dana's Delicacies, we had a plan, and we had a plan to do make it like a night, a night in, because at the point everybody was quarantined, and it was very frustrating because we couldn't do anything. So
Right.
we were like, okay, so let's get together with some
Here's
of the rest.
ours. We're gonna show ours real quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
And here's Julie.
I love that. I love the circles.
Here's Roseanne's. Let's see.
Oh, a little higher.
Do it.
Oh, I like the round one. I love that. That's so cute.
Okay, so we're following along.
Perfect. Perfect. So we're gonna do the cat next.
tape.
So I'm gonna grab my small brush again, because it's just easier to do the outline first. And then that way, and then fill everything in, especially with the black. So I can get my small brush, and let me I'm gonna zoom in a little closer. And scoot you guys just right there. Okay. So for the cat, I just tipped my brush. This doesn't have to be solid. Like I said, we're just doing an outline before we actually put the paint down. For the body of the cat, we're going to do a small kind of like egg-shaped circle on top of the pumpkin. So I'm going to go a little bit more to the side, because we're still going to put his paw kind of holding him up on the pumpkin. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to just make kind of like this egg shape. So just like that. And like I said, doesn't have to be a perfect round shape. Just like that. So just a little egg sitting on top. It's an easy way to draw a cat. So if you don't know how to draw, or you've never really practiced, this is like super simple way to draw a cat. Like a cat's just a bunch of circles and triangles. So here's his little body. Okay. And then we're going to make his head. Now, actually, let's finish the body. That's going to be a little easier. So I'm going to make another circle, and that circle is going to be like right here. It's going to be another egg-shaped circle. So it's going to be angled a little bit to the side of this one. So it's going to be coming off the corner. So you can see what I mean here. It's a little smaller. This is kind of out. It's like a snowman that's kind of falling down. Or a couple of rings. So if you kind of visualize a cat, this is his little hip with his back leg, and this is going to be his little shoulder. Yeah. And then for his neck area, we're just going to make a little square on top of our small egg. Okay. And next, I'm going to make a nice long triangle that goes triangle. Oh my gosh. No, not yet. No triangles yet. A nice long rectangle all the way down. So from this part of the little circle, oval, excuse me, I'm just going to bring this straight down. Just like that. So you've got oval, oval, square, rectangle. At the bottom of that rectangle, I'm going to add another circle. So there's his body. And it looks really funny. So the top of his head, I'm going to angle mine a little bit. It's going to be like, he's contemplating things. So mine's going to be angled, and the way it's going to look is we're going to use this oval shape again, but we're going to lay it on its side. So right on top of the square, I'm going to kind of do a little wonky egg shape. So I've got my little egg on top of the square, on top of the oval, on top of the other oval, with a rectangle and a circle. So nice, simple. And then we'll fill them all in and connect them in a little bit. For the ears. Questions? No? For the ears, am I going too fast? Okay. For the ears, that's where the triangles come in. And my triangles are going to be a little curved on the inside. So I'm going to take my triangle and I'm going to kind of curve it up. So it's got a little bit of curve, and then bring it straight down. And I do the other side as well. So this one's going to be a little more curved. So you got two little triangles. So it's just a bunch of shapes. Nice and easy. We can all do some shapes. So it doesn't have to be super complicated. Now, oh, did I just miss a message? Nope. Okay. I thought I saw somebody message. Okay. So for the tail, we're going to do the letter S.
Okay, hang on, Dina, because Dana, I'm just getting your video and audio. So hang on here. I'm trying to catch back up to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we're getting our cat, and it's just a bunch of shapes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we've got a big egg. Did you already get your pumpkin?
No, I'm still working on my pumpkin. So,
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't get your audio. I could get audio, but I couldn't get video and I couldn't get voice. So when you said to click on the screen for the class, I went and clicked on that, and you guys went out, and now you came back in, and you're further ahead of me. So
Oh. Okay.
I wasn't late to class. I was here. I'm just okay. So
So
all right.
yeah. Go ahead and finish up your pumpkin.
Okay. I apologize.
So what Denise, I'll finish what I was saying before. Originally, Dana's Delicacies was supposed to be a night in because of COVID, and is a way for people to get together on Zoom, or, you know, like a household to do a family activity. And we were hoping to get the restaurants to get, you know, give us tutorials, so that way you can have a recipe. The restaurants, you know, the chef will teach us how to make it. It'll be something you can make before the show. I mean, before the painting party. And we had a couple restaurants, but you know, it never really took hold. So we decided to change the name, because there's no more Delicacies. These are kind of in line with like the canvas and cocktails and the paint and sip parties. They're a lot of fun, but they're of course on Zoom. And I know a lot of you guys are kind of doing this whole group thing, which I love. And it's really nice. It's nice because you can make it a night in, and not have to worry about masks right now. Because those do tend to get old after 8 hours of work.
Yeah, I bet.
But it's the transformation of this program has been unique, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that so many people.
Dana?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what I pushed, but it cooked me out. And then the last thing I heard you was telling me was that you guys used to have a chef and used to cook and was trying to show before the thing. And that's all I thought.
Yeah. I think Zoom, I hope it doesn't kick me off. That would really be bad. Yeah, no, so we did the first one that we did, we got together with Yo Mamas, and Deidre and her husband put together these amazing dishes. Oh my God, it was so yum. And they did the video. We did a video with him demonstrating how to make the food. So you could make it at home. And then that way, when you get together for the painting party, you have hors d'oeuvres, and, you know, and BJ Lesperance, who's the Macy Center mixologist, she used to, she would create a kind of signature drink for the event. So you could actually go to the store, get the stuff, bring it all home, make everything, and then have everything ready and have your own little kind of paint and sip party at home.
Wow,
So,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you know, there's only so many cooks and chefs in Socorro,
Right?
and yeah, we weren't able to get everybody on board, so it became this. and it's been fun. It's been fun. I know a good bunch of tech students. You know, they get together in their dorm rooms or, you know, in their apartments, and, you know, they all kind of paint together. And I know a lot of you guys are here right now. Yeah. So, and it's great because it's just something fun to do that's not, you know, work and having to go out and spend tons of money.
Right? This was a hard day for me, so I'm like so relaxed right now.
Good. Yeah. And that's like the key. It's just having fun and learning something new and getting nice and messy.
Yes.
These painting, this is a really good exercise in order for me, because when I paint, there's paint everywhere. And there's paint on I like to paint with my fingers. So this is really, because I have to keep it nice and clean so that way you guys can see it. There's not paint like here and there and on my face, and my fingers are covered in paint. So it's really fun. I love these things. We're hoping to do some in person at Macy sometime this year. If not, definitely in the spring. But of course, yeah, it's so hard to schedule anything nowadays. Everybody's trying to play catch up.
Yes.
So how are you doing, hon? Are you almost done with your pumpkin?
That's me.
Oh, perfect. Oh, you even got your cat in there.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna pick up and we're gonna keep going, guys. Just letting you know.
Thank you all for waiting.
like they had a choice. Okay.
But I was happy to wait.
So, we're gonna do the tail, and the tail is gonna be shaped like the letter S. S as in Sam. I've been on the phone all day, so like S as in Sam. So we're gonna start right here, kind of close to the cat's head, and it's gonna have a small curve on top and a long one on bottom. Okay, so it's kind of like a really fancy S. All right, so I'm going to start here. I'm gonna go around, and I'm out of. And then it's going to be like this long, fancy little S. Okay. Make sure you connect it to your cat.
And not to the pumpkin.
And not to the pumpkin, like I just did. So I'm gonna extend his little booty out. So that way it's kind of close to the tail. See there? I'll fix my mistake. Like I said, you can't take black back. It's like once you put it on canvas, it's there. You have to wait for it to dry and then go over your canvas with white to completely. Yeah, you have to prime your canvas in order to get rid of black. So there's my S for my cat tail. And we're gonna fill this in. So I'm gonna just leave this here like that. I'm going to switch brushes because I want to fill everything in. Everything's gonna be black. All our shapes are gonna be black. So I'm gonna clean off my small brush, especially when you're using black. Make sure to clean that off. And I'm going to set my little brush aside. And I'm going to go in for my angle brush again. So I'm using this one. This is 5/8 angle. So it's just your medium brush. Just so that way it makes it faster to fill it in. I start by filling in the first egg. My first oval. So when I do need to post, I use my pinky finger and I use the tip of it. So I'll put the tip right where there's no paint. So that way I can really get that line solid. It's just a little tip and trick right there. And I'll just go in a circle like this instead of actually like taking the brush down. And then that way I get that really, really solid line without worrying about trying to keep my hand steady, because you're like, it's not gonna go. So what that posting trick is nice. You just got to make sure that there is no paint, or the paint that's right there is nice and dry. And then you can line things up and make those lines solid. I don't know about you guys, but some of my little lines right here are a little feathered because of the texture of your canvas. So I'm just going over those and making sure I make it nice and solid. And then you can just fill everything else in. So just making those lines that we made before, that's the first thing when you're filling it in. First thing you want to do is make those lines nice and thick, so that way you can just go in and brush just like this without worrying, oh, I went too far. You just fill those lines and just make them a little thicker. Just like that. Now I'm going to do the second one. I'm going to come up here. You don't have to follow me in the order. I'm just, I don't know. It's in my head. I did this one first, then I do this one second. So nice and thick. Cute. All right. See, that actually kind of looks like a cactus on screen. That's a cute painting too. So I'm just filling everything in. All right. Circle down here. Oh, come on. I'm not paying attention. I just dipped my brush into the red. Okay, ears. So the ears, if you're not comfortable filling them in, because they're this probably the smallest part that we're doing. If that corner makes you nervous, you can switch to your smaller brush. That is perfectly fine, and it works really good. That's one of the reasons that I love angle brushes, because you can get those corners and not have to switch so much. So if you're ever thinking about investing in some brushes, I mean, for acrylics, you really don't need really expensive brushes. They help, but a pack from like Walmart for $14 is really great. I mean, I use them for everything. I use them for acrylics. I use them for face painting. You know, they're very versatile. And they don't cost a lot, which is great.
And actually, I got a set for Christmas last year, so I'm in good shape.
Yeah, that's always the best. You're like, art supplies, thank you. So I tell my husband, no jewelry. I don't even wear jewelry. Like, art supplies and electronics, and I'm good.
Yep, that's what I got, canvases and paints and brushes and canvases.
Nice. I've got, let's see, what did I get for Christmas last year? So I've got some, oh, my birthday, Rana bought me this huge set of, what do they call them? Brushes, not brushes, pencils, watercolor pencils.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't broken them open yet, and I need to. Things just get so crazy once the season's like, I can't. Okay, so once you got everything filled in on your cat, I don't know if you can see, like on mine, like there's like this whole kind of funky gap right here. So we're gonna connect everything and make it look a little more slick and streamlined. So with this gap right here, I'm just going to connect these two. So that way that gap kind of disappears. And then the neck, I'm going to connect. I'm gonna round this out just a tiny bit. So that way it looks like the kitty chest. I don't know. If you have a cat, you know, they have this beautiful little fluffy chest that when they stand up nice and tall, it sticks out and they're like so proud. They have this adorable little power stance. You know, like the most awesome creatures in the whole wide world, but they're, you know, they think they're like the baddest in the land. Of course, they're only like 8 pounds. So I'm just going to curve all of my sharp connection points. So if you see right here, it still looks nice. It looks really like you can see where I put my box and it connects to my egg. But right here on this side, you can see how I kind of curved it out. So that way it's not so sharp. You got like a little curve going there. And so anywhere that our shapes are touching, I'm going to do that. So like on the body right here, I'm just going to kind of put like a little backward C. That's the easiest way to kind of curve things out. It is a backward C. And it kind of softens that shape. So like right here on the neck, this side will be a regular C. And then right on his back little area, I'm gonna do the same thing. Just kind of curve it out. This one, I'm gonna kind of just go out a little bit. So you see, I end up with a little triangle in the middle. I'm gonna fill that in. Where's the try? So you can see he's got his little shape now.
Looks like a fat kitty.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you guys have ever seen my cat. I'm paying homage to my baby right now, my little spoiled brat, and he is a giant cat. He's part Maine Coon, so if you've ever seen a Maine Coon, I mean, we measured him, and he's pushing 3 feet.
Oh,
He's
wow.
a giant cat. From tip to tail, he's big, but he's such a baby. He's absolutely spoiled, and I love it. So once you've got all your curves and they're nice and curvy, your cats are nice and curvy, we're going to fill in our S. Now we're just going to build this up. We don't want it to be too thick. You want the thickness of your S to be, I want to say maybe the size of your pinky, give or take some of the points. So like down here bottom, I've got this thick part here. I'm just going to kind of follow my line up. Okay. So I'm just going to follow the line that I've already made. If you're worried about going too thick, you can go slow and build and build. So you don't have to decide how thick you want to make it and try to do what I just did. You can start off small, like, go just a little bit of ways from your line, and then decide, I think I want him to have a thicker tail. Your cat can have a bushy tail. You can do that too. But you see, it's about here and there. It's gonna be about the size of my pinky, give or take. Now, if we were to do him with a nice bushy tail, I would probably add a little bit of like poofiness to it by just kind of going out of the lines a little bit, making little round like C's here and there. But my cat, he's one of those cute little slick cats. And on the tip of his tail, I'm going to round it a little bit, make a tiny C, and connect that C. Just like that. Go over any spots that you missed. Once the black dries, it's really easy to see where you're like, oh, there's still some orange right there. Even on your pumpkin, I'm looking here and I'm like, okay, so I see some color coming through. And while we wait, I'm just going to touch those up. Alrighty. So once you get this filled in, once you got your kitty filled in, you got his little paw, don't forget the paw. Kitty paws, they're like the best thing in the world. I'm going to rinse this off again and switch out and go back to my tiny brush. I forget with black, I need at least 2 cups of water. Switch this out. If your water gets really, really dark and it looks like you're not really doing much in the way of cleaning off the paint, switch it, go rinse it out and get some new water, because that will affect the colors. Not so much for this one, because I don't, we've only got a few more light things to do, but this actually look like coffee. Oh my gosh, it got really dark. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more water. So once everybody's got this down, we'll add that awesome spider web to his tail. That's why we have that C going on. He's so cute, kitty cat. Does anybody need more time? Gotta grab some more paper towels. So I am going to use, choices. So if you just have a few brushes, use your smallest one. I think I'm gonna take my own advice. Looking for my little one, but I can't seem to find it. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna stick with the 4. I'm gonna stick with the number 4. Actually, I might go down. I might go up a little bit. I'm looking for my brush that has a nice strong tip. It's way too small. So something that has a really good tip, something like that or that. You see, and the brush is like, for me, I love sturdy bristles. They just make it so much easier, and it's fine if they're long. Some people like short bristles, but as long as they're sturdy, I don't care. So I'm dipping that in the green, in the black, and we're just gonna make a line. So from this part of my S, I'm going to angle down and just bring that line right across. And these lines are the lines. We're not gonna fill these in or anything. These are the lines. So take your time with it. Go nice and slow. So that way you don't get all wonky on it. Okay, because this is a spider web. We're gonna do a spider web. These are basically just a bunch of X's, really. So from here, I'm going to start at the bottom of his tail and go across and make just make an S, an X in the S. Okay. He's just got an X in the middle of his tail. And I'm going to add one more line right across the middle. And I'm going to curve it just a little bit. So it's going to be, see, not straight, but it's going to be like a little bit of curve. So you can start in the middle of your X and go out to the tail. Just like that. All right. Now we are going to draw a line from one line to the other. It's going to be like a little curved as well. So you're going to go start just a few centimeters down from your main X point, and just make a line. It's curved just a little bit. These can be a little wonky. They actually look better when they're wonky, and just kind of like give it a little shake. And my next one, I'm going to start at the tip, right next to the tail, and go all the way across. I ran out of paint, so I'm gonna go over this one more time. Just like that. And so you're gonna do that to all of your, they actually look kind of like it looks like a little spoke wheel. So you're gonna do that to every single one. So 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, just like that. And that is how to make a spider web. I mean, you can get really elaborate. Some of the spider webs that I've seen are gorgeous. This is just like the basic, like Spider-Man spider web. As a face painter, I got so used to doing spider webs. Everybody wants to be Spider-Man. So you see that third one, because this is so long, I took it from this line and attached it to the cat's tail. That's perfectly fine too. You want these to not let you. We don't want them to be all symmetrical, and we just want a little bit of character in there. You know, nature's not, even though it's perfect, it's not perfect. That's the perfect part about it. So just whatever you feel, whatever you think would look really cool. Just like that. Ta-da! And your spider web is like done and done. So once everybody's caught up and got that part down, if you want to add the spider, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. For that matter, you didn't have to do the spider web. It's up to you. This is your kitty cat. So you can put the spider on the web, or he can dangle. And I'm gonna dangle mine off. because I think it just looks really cute. So kind of decide where you want your spider to be. I'm not going to go too far down. I'm going to put him right here. I'm just going to make a little circle and fill it in. I'm still using my little brush. So I just made a nice little circle. And then for his little spider paws, because spiders actually have paws, which I didn't even realize. That's so cute. I'm just going to kind of make these little, so I almost made an hourglass. I know it's kind of far away. I think this is as close to, oh no, there's a little bit more. But I have to angle this differently. So I kind of made a little hourglass with the legs. Started out wide and then came in and kind of took them out a little bit. And so you're just basically going to want to do like a check mark backwards, I guess you could call it, or upside down. So so that's 2 legs. We'll go all the way for the 8. So you see, I went out, check mark down. And then I'm just going to put a little tiny pad, little line. That's kind of hard to see. It's a little far away. So line out, real small line out, and then down, and then out. Make a little cute little octopus, alien octopus thing going on here. And they can cross. So like these ones are behind. So I'm just going out and then going straight through the one I just made and back. Because he's kind of hanging there, he's just all dangly. And then he just needs his little zip cord to tie him back to his web. And I'm making this kind of wanky. So that way, and I'm putting it right up into my X. So I've got like this little wobbly cord going on. You can see I've got some cute little wobbles in there. It's a cute painting. I don't know. I love it so much. And then of course, like, you know, I'm looking here and I've got some like parts where the black didn't get into those grooves. So I'm just gonna go through while you guys are still finishing that up, and I'm gonna make sure that all of my black spots, all the colored light spots in my black are painted up and colored. And I have to be nice. I'm totally displaying this one. Go. We're gonna add some highlights later, but it's just a thing with me. It's my thing. You don't have to do that. Don't forget the kitty whiskers. Gotta get the kitty whiskers. Yeah. So you can do 2, 3. I'm going to start on the black of the head and just kind of go out. Just kind of swish right across. And that'll give me that kind of that taper at the very end. They can be as long as you want, short as you want. They can be nice and thick. They can be really thin. These ones are going to kind of disappear because we're going into our tail there. But you can kind of see, and when you swish it, you'll see that you can see it through the spider web. And like I said, to pay homage to my little kitty, I do the little top hair whiskers here because he's got some of those that kind of stick out. And once that's done, we're going to add our little curly cues and some cute little accents to the bottom. So, you know, a pumpkin is on vines, you know, they grow on vines. So we're going to add some vines to the bottom of our pumpkin and kind of go out and curve around. So these flourishes, you definitely want to use your little brush and just tape just at the tip. You want to just do paint just at the tip. So we're going to go out, like I'm going to start at the base of the pumpkin and I'm just going to kind of curl around. Just like that. Let's see. Let me lower this a little bit more. Ooh, too much. There you go. And you can do as many as you want in whatever shapes you want. S is usually the easiest shape to make. But if you want to, you know, to like do a cursive L or something, you can do that. I'm going to follow this up.
And you're doing that in black, Dina?
I'm doing it in black. You
In
can
black.
do it in green. You can do it in whatever color you want to do. I'm doing mine in black. And I love how it's just shadowed, because if the light's coming straight at you, everything's going to be in shadow. So I've got mine going on in black here. And I'm going to add some more to the other side. So probably go over and curl. Oh. Just over and curl. You can really get curly Q with these and just do like a 1, 2, 3 and curl. It's very Nightmare Before Christmas. And you can take these as high as you want, or you can keep them low. It's up to you. You know, you can have some straight ones going on. Right out. Curly Q to this one. They can go opposite directions. They can overlap. They're very whimsical. I think make this over here and curl downward. they can go off the canvas. You know, just have fun with it. Let them fly. Blurry sheets are the best part. They're so much fun. I'm just dragging my brush right off the canvas. And that will be it for the black. Yay! I didn't make a mess. So once that's done, since I'm done with my black, I'm cleaning my brush off nice and good. Always after we finish doing a painting, make sure to wash your brushes in the sink. You can use Dawn soap. That works great. If you have some brush soap, it's really awesome too. That really helps keep the pliability of your bristles. So, but Dawn soap works awesome. Any type of dish soap works really great. And when you wash them, you just want to kind of open them up. Don't pull them, just kind of open them up and feather them under the water. So that way, if there's any paint that's kind of traveled into, oh, I'm totally not on screen, right? So you just want, when you're washing your brushes, you just open them up. Don't pull, just open up the bristles, fan them out a little bit. Just like that. And kind of just go back and forth, kind of wash them. If you have anything that's ridgy, you can kind of do this. And those ridges will help get that paint out. The reason you want to fan it is because a lot of times when you do use a lot of paint, it tends to travel upwards into your brush, and then your brush will forever be like giving you that color. So yeah, I have brushes that I, didn't wash that well, and they still to this day, I have, when I paint with them, there's like blue hue and blue tint to my whites. So yeah, then you end up needing to dedicate that brush or get a new one. So you open them up just like that, wash them really good in the sink, let them dry, but make sure you wash them with soap. Your brushes will last a lot longer than just rinsing them off in the cup. Another tip, yay, okay. So once you've got this, we're gonna add some highlights. So as soon as everybody is ready, I'm gonna zoom out here so they're easier to see when they're zoomed out, okay? I'm going to take another small brush, one that's really small. So I'm using a number 1. You can see that, yeah, number 1. And we're gonna just do some highlighting. So I want to wet this brush. I'm going to put a little bit of white on my plate. And I'm going to add just one tiny little touch of yellow. I want a beigey kind of white to do this with. And I'm mixing it with my brush because I don't mind if it gets mixed on my brush. So this is a really, really light pastel yellow. I don't know if that's coming through. my paint is, my plate is actually white. So if you can see that, it's a really light, just kind of like the moonshine. Yeah, real pretty color that you'd assume that the moon would be in this light. So I've got that on my brush. I'm just gonna kind of, I'm gonna wet my brush just a little bit to kind of get this a little watery. So I don't want these to really be solid. And I'm just gonna add some highlights. You can add highlight wherever you want. But for me, I want to kind of outline like the top of his cute little head. I'm just gonna put like a little line. Kind of got like 3 little lines there. And I didn't put enough water. You can make them as solid as you want. But me personally, I want my little highlights to be kind of transparent. So the more water, the lighter these strokes are going to be. So let me zoom in. So you see what I did? I went a little too solid and didn't put enough water on my brush initially. So I've got this pretty big size patch. This is the great thing about black is I could just get my brush and paint over that. And once that's dry, try that again. So I said bye-bye to that one. And I'm just taking my brush, really laying down the water. And I'm just gonna kind of tap it off here and there on my plate. So I'm just tapping a little bit. I got water on my brush, tapping into this. So that way I kind of get like these little water bubbles of paint here. So you see this kind of like just a bubble of light paint. And I'm just going to take this brush because it's nice, really nice and light. And I'm just going to kind of brush it on where I want to see some highlight. So like his cute little chest, I want to highlight that curve. And of course his back, that nice little curve. And these highlights don't have to be like these solid lines, you know, you can kind of brush them through and make them like little pointy, jaggedy ones. So like this one right here is a little too solid for me. So I'm just going to add some water and kind of brush that out. And I could have done this with that one, but that was a really thick line. And that paint would have gone in. So you see, I just kind of pulled that down. And I'm going to pull that paint down into his paw. So we got that kind of curve going there. And I'm going to highlight his neck and kind of bring that down this way. Just little curves. I mean, these are just little tiny highlights. You don't have to do it. You can just skip it if you want. But it really adds a little bit to your painting that you don't even, you don't even think about until you step back and look at it. You're like, oh, okay. It gives it another dimension, just a little bit more. And so right here, how he's got his little hip, that little moo hip. My cat moos. He doesn't meow. He actually moos. So we call him Minimoo. me bring this down again. You see what I did there? Went over that hip. Kind of just made this like a little V right here. So that way you can get that definition from his torso to his hip. And then of course, you know that there's another paw right here, even though we didn't paint it, there's definitely another paw right there, that little back paw. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit paint right here. And another one on top of that paw. So that way you kind of just define where that is. And then I'm gonna add some more of these little highlights to his tail. I'm just gonna go up the tail and hit it here and there. With some of this light color. I'm keeping my brush nice and wet. So that way my highlights are more like a wash than an actual putting color down. So you just got some really small lines. Don't have to be anything big. You can do one side of the tail, both sides of the tail. You just want to kind of step back and look at it. You can kind of see what feels right to you. And I'm going to add a little bit of highlight to our little spider friend too. And it's just going to be in one tiny little line right on his little bum. Just like a So pull back just a little bit, kind of give you an idea. So you don't really see them that much, but when you look at it a little closer, you know, it gives it that other that extra kick. Definitely when you're in person. The camera doesn't really relay that great. And I'm going to do the same thing to my pumpkin. So with the pumpkin, you know, the pumpkin has the curved lines on it. So we definitely want to add those. So I'm just going to come right here and kind of go all the way down. Yeah, we pull in. Do you see what I'm doing right there? And that line right there, like I said, it's a little solid for me. So I'm just going to go over it with some water. And kind of smudge it out a little bit. And I'm even going to take my finger. Hey, see? I'm just going to use my finger eventually and kind of smush that and kind of break that color up a little bit because I don't want it to be that defined. If you want it to be that defined, that's awesome. But mine, I want to keep them really, really light. So, and right now, it's not actually that whole, just because it's wet. It doesn't look that shiny on here. It's the light reflecting off of the water. And I'm going to do that on the other side. You see, you got that kind of like right there, like that. I'm gonna go out a little bit and do the end, close to the, almost, you know, almost to the edge, pretty close. It looks really, really lined on my screen, but it's because the light is reflecting off of my paint. I mean, off of the water. So they're not actually that light, that bright or thick. You want to do one right down the middle. So I'm going to hit right at the top. Kind of do that. I'm not going to go straight through. I'm just touching where the black is. Just like that. And then right at the eyes. And you can see that we're curving these. Just like you would see on a pumpkin. They're nice and curved. He heard his name. My cat's name is Pumpkin, so he's like sitting right outside the door because mommy's working. He can't be up here. So he's sitting like outside the door, and I said pumpkin, so right away he starts knocking. He's a net. That's my baby. So you can see, and I've done it here too. It's just the light is not hitting exactly, so you're not seeing it on screen. But I've got my lines from my pumpkin. Now I'm going to add a little bit more, and these ones I'm going to make a little more solid. Just because I want a little more definition. So I'm going to do some around the eyes. And you can do these in white, you can do the pastel yellow, you can do bright yellow. I got to put some up here where my kitty's sitting. Kind of separate that out. I'm going to kind of outline these guys. So I'm just going to put some L's on the teeth. This is just an L. Just a little L to kind of highlight those teeth. And follow the smile. Just like that. It is a happy jack-o'-lantern. I love it. It's so awesome. Now, if you really want your jack-o'-lantern to be nice and bright, you can go in with more colors in the eyes. I'm going to take my orange and I am going to highlight one side of each of these and give it this kind of, what would you call it? Like a stroke almost. So I'm taking my small brush and I'm going to dip it in the orange. And just on the inside of my eye, and I'm doing it really slow and careful. I'm adding some orange just to give it a little more dimension. It's like the jack-o'-lantern and pumpkin has like a bit of a wall. So you see what I did there? I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of funky on the screen. On my screen, it looks a little odd. It looks like you barely see anything. But I'm going to do that to both sides. I can tell you if you were born in the 90s and used to like doodle on your notebooks, you know how to do this part. We did a lot of doodling. We didn't have phones in school just yet. We weren't that lucky. There you go. I see him now. He's starting to character in here. It's actually kind of like an inside bevel. That's what we're doing. The inside wall of our pumpkin. You see on the T, I'm just going to go on one side. So this side right here doesn't have anything. It's just going to be that kind of. So that just gives your pumpkin a little more personality. You got a little bit of depth going in there. And of course, he's got that glow coming from the candle that's going on in there. So.
Is it really a candle or is it enchanted?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
It's Halloween after all.
Exactly. We'll go all Harry Potter style on everything.
There you go.
That's my favorite. If you guys don't know that, I'm a solid Potterhead. I basically listen to all the audiobooks on repeat. It's over and over and over and over and over again. It's like my favorite story. It's so much fun. I always catch something new, even though it's like the 80th time I've listened to them. So I'm going to add some stars because pretty much that's it. My pumpkin's done. My kitty's done. Move up here. Here we go. So he's done. You can stop here if you want. I just want to add a couple little twinkle stars up here just to kind of give it a little, just mystical feel, like you just said, a little mystical feel. And I'm going to just use my white and do some stars and do some white and some yellow and kind of layer them. So I'm using my tiny brush again. I cleaned it off, got the orange off of it. And I'm just gonna dip it in my white and do some little like cross stars. So I got, like, I'm just gonna go and just make a little cross and then cross in the middle. Just like that. Get closer. That's the one thing about doing it by myself. I have to keep adjusting the camera. So you see my little star right there. And I'm gonna put a couple here and there. I don't want to get too crazy with them. There's a couple little stars just around him, maybe up in the corner. Just a little star. And then maybe we can add just some little dots. Because those stars that are far away, they're going to be little tiny twinkle dots. So you can do like twinkly dot, twinkly dot. Oh, 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 oh. Actually, it looks a little bit like snow, but we can change that by adding some yellow. So if we add a little bit of yellow to those twinkle dots, they won't look so much like snow. And for that matter, you can go over your little star with some yellow, like in the center. Give it a little bit of a glow. That yellow is really going to stand out against that darker color. Just add your twinkle dots. And pretty much we're done. So if you add anything else, I mean, you can just keep adding to this. That's the great thing about shadow, doing these black ones, is if you wanted to add like a tree right here, or a little butterfly or something, you know, it looks great. Anything you add on here looks amazing, because it's just so dramatic.
That was part of why I was like, I'll use the old one. Whoops.
Hey, let's see them. Oh my God. Oh, I love how you did the spider web up in the corner. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know if it would turn out good, but I think it turned out okay.
Oh,
Turned
look at
out
that. Great.
Oh, that's so cute. Yes, I love him. Oh, he looks like he's just contemplating life. I love it. Oh, I love your pumpkin, Marianne. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, Boo!
Oh, the blue is wonderful.
Your spider is going for the pumpkin. Oh, too cute.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Very
you
good.
I love that. Oh, I love your background. Oh, they're so cute. Yes, I love them.
I like that pumpkin.
Yeah, that's an awesome pumpkin.
Which who else is showing? Oh, Denise. Oh my God.
I didn't like my spider web, but it came out okay.
That's okay.
That was great. He's cute. Oh, he's like, he's kind of shaped like my baby. He's like a nice poofy kitty. Adorable. Oh my gosh, I love him. Oh,
And she could be a lady kitty expecting kittens.
yeah, totally.
Okay, I'm off mute now. Here's one. Let's see.
Oh, now that's
Okay.
nice.
This is Roseanne.
Flourish.
Okay. Where's yours?
Oh, wait, wait, go and share yours. Wait.
I love those curly cute vines. Those are awesome. Oh,
Mine's
oh,
not that good. Yeah, it's I couldn't get that spider web in that tail.
There.
no,
But it
this
was
is
fun.
good.
It was very
I could
fun.
not get it.
Oh, they're so pretty. I love your highlights. I can totally see your highlights.
Yeah.
Just gonna take
And then this is Julie's. Let's see.
Cute. Okay, it's like
Right.
almost. There you go.
There.
Oh,
There's
I love him. He's got that scruffy cheeks. He looks like he's got scruffy little whiskers.
Thank you. It was so much fun.
He had a night at the Capitol.
What was that?
He had a night at the Capitol. That's why he looks all scruffy now.
Yeah. Hey, Margarita. Let's see yours. Oh, I love that. Oh, you put 2 pumpkins, and I love how your kitty's going off. Like you're up in the, he's all nice and tall. Oh my gosh. I love your pumpkin too. I love the eyes. I'm so glad you guys did amazing. I love it. I love it. That's my favorite part, is just looking at all the awesome pictures. That's like the best. And you guys, I mean, you guys did such a great job. I love all of them. Everyone is so unique, and yeah, I mean, that was awesome. This is like one of my favorite ones that we've done. This is so much fun. And I hope you guys had a great time too.
Yes, this was very enjoyable.
Good. I'm glad.
Kristen sends her best. She's in Texas.
Oh, I was
Sends her
wondering.
best.
I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I got my kitty ears on.
Yes, how cute.
I had to go with the spirit of things. So thank you guys for joining me, and keep a lookout because we're going to do another one in November. I want to say that it's the second week of November, but it might actually be the third week. No, I don't think it's the third week. I think it's the second week. Because yeah, then we're running into Thanksgiving and that. I mean, even though it would be fun, everybody's super busy. So yeah, we're looking at them, and it might be a Q-tip painting again. If you joined us last time for the Q-tip painting, they are so much fun. It's actually what we say. We paint with Q-tips. Thank you. Good night, girls. We'll see you guys next time. So this was the Q-tip painting that we did last fall.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was so fun.
Bye, guys.
We'll
Keep us
see you.
posted.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Keep an eye out for emails. We'll make sure to send them out. So
Will do.
all right. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, thanks, Dana.
Thank you. Have a good night.